15:01, 2:18 p.m. Ghulam Shaber 0786. Fire racist cop tries framing black woman. Instantly shuts down when she flashes her FBI badge on camera. Fearful face revolving light. 15:01, 2:59 p.m. Ghulam Shaber 0786. Screams echoed across Maplewood Street as cameras suddenly rolled live. Neighbors rushed out, startled and confused by unfolding chaotic scene. At the center stood Alicia, calm yet clearly furious inside. Her hands stayed raised, palms open, no sudden movements made. Opposite her towered Officer Briggs, face tightening with arrogance imposed. He barked orders, voice dripping hostility and shameless contempt loudly. His partner, Lewis, nervously shifted, unsure continuing this charade today. Alicia breathed slowly, aware phones recorded every reckless moment happening. Briggs accused her stealing items from nearby department convenience store. She protested calmly, requesting explanation or legal reasoning denied immediately. Briggs smirked, clearly expecting intimidation would force cooperation fast instantly. But Alicia wasn't ordinary citizen caught powerless that afternoon here. Her training whispered patience despite blood boiling under skin fiercely. Neighbors whispered, questioning why officers seemed unusually aggressive that day. Kids hid, clutching parents, sensing injustice brewing heavy air nearby. Briggs stepped closer, hand creeping toward cuffs prematurely threateningly menacingly. Alicia asked calmly, requesting badge number and justification immediately please. Briggs ignored, ordering Lewis begin search without warrant grounds present. Lewis hesitated, glancing around at recording witnesses everywhere present watching. Briggs shoved forward, grabbing Alicia's wrist aggressively without cause whatsoever. Gasps erupted, shock rippling down quiet peaceful suburban block instantly. Still Alicia didn't resist, eyes burning with controlled fire inside. Then she spoke 9 words shifting entire balance instantly forever. Her voice clear, unwavering, perfectly audible to everyone surrounding there. Before you proceed, I strongly advise stopping immediately, she warned. Briggs laughed, dismissive, certain bluffing powerless ordinary civilian right here. And why exactly should I? Briggs taunted, stepping nearer threateningly. Alicia slowly reached pocket careful deliberate confident practiced and steady. Briggs froze sensing shift tension tightening air dangerously tense suddenly. Every phone angled closer capturing decisive moment about happen instantly. Alicia pulled sleek leather wallet crisp emblem glinting proudly bright. She flipped open badge golden shield reading Federal Bureau investigation. Silence struck neighborhood like thunder during midsummer storm that afternoon. Lewis stepped back breath catching understanding everything instantly changed now. Briggs stuttered eyes darting confidence collapsing under crushing realization sudden. He released her stepping away as blood drained face completely. Alicia stared unblinking knowing moment justice demanded accountability right here. Phones captured disgraced cop shrinking before wronged woman with authority. Whispers turned cheers murmurs spreading truth faster than lies everywhere. Briggs swallowed pride clueless escape this televised humiliation nightmare unfolding. Alicia spoke again tone icy measured entirely professional and unbroken. You just assaulted federal officer, she announced calmly right here. Briggs trembled hearing charges possible career-ending consequences spiraling toward him. Sirens approached distance backup alerted by community's frantic calls earlier. Lewis raised hands surrendering involvement immediately distancing himself Briggs now. And Alicia exhaled knowing truth finally protected her completely today. Chaos rippled across Maplewood as backup vehicles screeched sudden arrival. Red and blue beams washed quiet homes in flashing panic waves. Officer Briggs stiffened, jaw locking tight with downward spiral fear. Lewis stepped away, palms visible, desperate to avoid blame. Alicia remained composed, FBI badge gleaming bold proof undeniable authority. Neighbors murmured, realizing moment far bigger than simple misunderstanding earlier. This was power abused, exposed, reversed in spectacular fashion public. Sergeant Harlow exited cruiser, confusion sharp as he surveyed scene quickly. He spotted Alicia's badge instantly, posture tightening with urgent focus. Ma'am, are you in danger? He asked respectful tone direct. Alicia nodded slightly, eyes locked on Briggs still speechless paralyzed. This officer detained me without cause, attempted unlawful search, assaulted, Alicia stated clearly. The words stung louder than sirens, heavier than steel cuffs. Harlow turned to Briggs, expression darkening into professional controlled anger. Is this accurate? he demanded quietly, dangerous calm sinking in deeper. Briggs sputtered excuses, stammering lies tangled faster than he breathed. She matched a suspect description, refused to cooperate, acted suspicious. Harlow cut him off instantly, tired of hearing rehearsed excuses already. Did you verify ID? Harlow pressed relentlessly, eyes hard and focused. Briggs froze, silence confirming guilt louder than confession ever could. Phones captured every second, every crack in false narrative collapsing dramatically. Lewis spoke softly, guilt-ridden. Sir, she offered information. Briggs ignored. That sentence sealed fate like hammer-slamming courtroom bench final. Harlow exhaled furious disappointment. Turn over your body cam, he ordered. Briggs hesitated, sweat streaking beneath collar, dread clamping his throat crushing. Harlow stepped closer. Now, officer. The word felt like verdict passed instantly. Briggs slowly unclipped device, hands shaking under weight, consequence crushing. Alicia observed, remembering training about patience over fury always decisive. She knew real accountability required order, not shouting, not chaos uncontrolled. Harlow then faced Alicia respectfully. Agent, we'll need your statement. She nodded, professionalism replacing earlier fear, simmering heart racing. She had been through worse, but never this close to home. As Harlow secured immediate control, Briggs' fragile pride finally shattered completely. He turned pleading toward Lewis, but partner stared away silent. Cameras caught downfall perfectly. Arrogance replaced by regret, then raw panic. Harlow placed cuffs on Briggs, firm yet controlled, no hesitation present. Officer Briggs, you're being detained pending investigation for misconduct, he declared. Gasps erupted again. Role reversal absolute, poetic, deserved beyond doubt. Alicia felt justice begin turning gears slowly but meaningfully substantial. But she knew storm wasn't over. Local police corruption rarely isolated. And her instincts whispered this wasn't random, someone wanted her stopped. As the last patrol car disappeared around the corner, Maplewood Street slowly returned to its quiet evening calm, but Alicia knew peace was only temporary. She lingered outside a moment longer, her badge tucked away, her expression thoughtful and hard. Neighbors approached her in small groups, some shaken, some angry, all grateful she stood up. Thank you for stopping him, one woman whispered, tears brimming. Alicia nodded politely, but said nothing more. She wasn't here for praise, she had bigger questions. Why tonight? Why her? And why did that officer look like he recognized her before making contact? She walked to her SUV, slid into the driver's seat, and let the car idle as she collected herself. Her mind replayed the encounter. The aggression, the smirk, the confidence Briggs had in framing her. She'd seen that posture before, someone acting on instruction, not impulse. Alicia tapped her phone, opening a secure line. This is Agent Carter. I need a favor, she said as soon as her contact answered. Rough night, a smooth voice replied. Something like that. Run me a background check on Officer Daniel Briggs, Maplewood PD. Already on it, the voice said without hesitation. Alicia hung up, pulled away from the curb, and headed toward downtown. She had a bad feeling sitting like a weight on her ribs. Meanwhile, at the precinct, Briggs sat alone in a cramped interrogation room. The walls felt too close, the air too thin. He wiped sweat from his brow and kept replaying the moment Alicia revealed her badge. FBI, federal authority. His life crumbled with one flash of metal. A detective entered. Harlow again. Start talking, he said flatly. Briggs swallowed hard. It wasn't my idea. Harlow leaned forward. Then whose? Briggs hesitated, torn between self-preservation and fear. A name, Harlow pressed. Briggs whispered shakily, Chief Adler. The words hung heavy. Harlow froze, stunned. The police chief. If true, this wasn't misconduct, this was a conspiracy. Alicia's phone buzzed just as she parked outside a quiet cafe. The same smooth voice returned. Got something. Briggs transferred from another city. Internal Affairs Inquiry, sealed. Sealed usually means dirty, Alicia muttered. More. He's connected to Police Chief Adler by recommendation. Personal connection. Alicia's heart pounded. Personal connections meant motive, and orchestration. Someone knew who she was. And they didn't want her digging any deeper. The night air suddenly felt colder. What she assumed was a random act of racism was far worse. It was intentional, calculated, and aimed directly at her. And she wanted to know why. Alicia wasn't willing to wait until sunrise. Whatever was happening, it was already moving, already tightening around her life like a rope. She grabbed her coffee, paid without tasting a drop, and headed back into the night. Her instincts hummed with urgency, the same instincts that saved her life undercover more than once. She dialed another number, this one far more dangerous to call unannounced. It rang once, twice. Carter, a gravelly voice answered. "Sir, I think I've tripped something in Maplewood," Alicia said. "What happened?" "Local cop tried to frame me. Aggressive, confident, too confident. Backup arrived, and he folded fast when I showed my badge." Silence pulsed across the line, long and uneasy. Finally, the voice returned. "You think he knew who you were?" "I'm certain," she said. Alicia explained the sealed misconduct file, the personal link to Chief Adler, and her gut sense that the encounter wasn't spontaneous. The man on the line exhaled deeply. "You're not off duty anymore. Assume you're being followed, tracked, and targeted." "Already assumed," she replied steadily. "Don't take this on alone." Alicia paused, staring at the quiet street. A lone street lamp flickered overhead, casting her shadow long and thin across the asphalt. "Understood," she said, though she knew she might ignore that order. Meanwhile, at Maplewood Police Headquarters, Chief Adler stood in his office staring at his desk. He wasn't worried about Briggs. Briggs was expendable. What bothered him was the name the officer had whispered moments earlier, Agent Alicia Carter. Adler had hoped she'd be someone else, someone ordinary. But no, she was that Alicia Carter, the FBI agent rumored to be sniffing around corruption cases all over the state. The same Alicia Carter whose investigations had already quietly ended careers. Adler pulled out his phone and opened a secure text app. She took the bait, he typed. Seconds later, a reply appeared. "Secure the problem." Adler swallowed. He wasn't sure if secure meant silence or something darker. But he typed back anyway. "I'll take care of it." Alicia drove through Maplewood's industrial district toward FBI regional headquarters. Buildings loomed like silent giants, dim windows reflecting her passing headlights. Her phone buzzed again. Same smooth intel contact. "One more thing," he added. "Briggs logged your identity in his patrol system 15 minutes before he stopped you." Alicia's stomach dropped. He knew who she was before stepping out of the cruiser. She wasn't a random stop. She was the target. And whatever Briggs was ordered to do, it was only step one. The FBI field office lights glowed like a beacon against the night sky, unassuming, quiet, but humming with hidden power. Alicia swiped her badge, stepped inside, and immediately felt at home. Here, walls didn't lie. Paper trails existed, and if Chief Adler wanted to hide something, this was where she'd pull the curtain back. She walked straight to the secure evidence room. The night duty analyst, Jordan, perked up when he saw her. "Agent Carter, you're not on rotation. Just need a few files pulled." Quietly, Jordan nodded, voice low. "Name the target." "Daniel Briggs," she said. "And cross-reference everything with Chief Adler." Jordan's fingers flew across keys while Alicia leaned against the desk, arms crossed tight. The room hummed with server noise, the glow of monitors reflecting in her eyes. "You okay?" Jordan asked gently. He rarely saw her unsettled. Alicia hesitated, then answered honestly. "This wasn't a stop gone bad. Someone sent him." Jordan stiffened. "Targeting a Fed, that's not local-level stupidity." "Exactly," Alicia murmured. Within minutes, documents began appearing on screen. Disciplinary notices, inquiry requests that vanished abruptly, transfers that didn't make sense. And then something darker. Jordan frowned. "Whoa, this is weird." "What is it?" Briggs worked under Adler at his last department. Internal Affairs flagged potential extortion, but the case vanished when Adler got promoted. Alicia's pulse quickened. So Adler has been protecting him. Jordan clicked deeper. "And maybe more." Then the screen froze. Alicia straightened. Jordan tapped the keyboard. "Nothing. Server just kicked me out," he said. "That doesn't happen," Alicia replied sharply. Jordan tried again. "Access denied." A chill threaded down Alicia's spine. Somebody inside Maplewood PD, or worse, above it, was watching. Before she could demand another route, the intercom blared. "Agent Carter," the voice said over the speaker, "report to the director's office immediately." Alicia exchanged a look with Jordan. "That doesn't sound like good news," he muttered. She headed down the corridor, heels echoing sharply. Inside the director's office, the lights were dim, blinds drawn. Director Ramirez stood by the window, hands clasped behind his back. "Alicia," he greeted quietly. "Sir." He turned. His expression wasn't angry, it was wary. "You're about to step into something that won't just shake a police department. It could crack open half the state. So someone wants to shut me down," Alicia said. Ramirez nodded. "And they might not be working alone. Corruption networks don't operate in single buildings." Alicia squared her shoulders. "I'm not backing off." Ramirez gave a tired smile. "I didn't think you would." Then his tone hardened. "But if you continue, be prepared. Every badge, every uniform, every courtroom you walk into may not be on your side." Alicia exhaled slowly. The war had begun. The next morning didn't bring clarity, it brought trouble. Alicia woke before dawn, replaying Director Ramirez's warning in her mind. If corruption stretched beyond Maplewood PD, she was digging into a nest of snakes. And venomous snakes didn't hiss, they struck. She armed herself lightly, badge, service weapon, recorder, then slipped into her SUV. The streets were barely waking, sky-colored pale gray. She drove toward Briggs' neighborhood. She needed answers before anyone silenced him permanently. Maplewood suburb felt different in daylight, too quiet, too clean, like a mask covering something rotten beneath the surface. Briggs lived in a modest house, blinds drawn. No cruiser parked outside, no signs of movement. Alicia stepped out carefully, checking angles. She approached the door and knocked once. Silence. She knocked again, louder. Still nothing. She exhaled sharply, instincts prickling. Something was wrong. Just as she turned, a neighbor peeked out nervously from behind a curtain. Alicia raised her badge. "FBI, I need to ask about Officer Briggs." The door cracked open. An older woman stared, wringing her hands. "He left," she whispered. "When?" "In the middle of the night," the woman said. "Packing bags like he was running from something." Alicia's pulse jumped. "Did he say where?" "No, but he looked scared, more than I've ever seen him." Before Alicia could ask more, screeching tires turned the corner. A matte black SUV barreled toward Briggs' driveway, tinted windows hiding whoever sat behind the wheel. Alicia reacted in a heartbeat. She shoved the neighbor back inside and ducked behind her vehicle. The SUV slowed, then paused in front of Briggs' home. A tense moment stretched. Then the window slipped down half an inch. Alicia's hand hovered near her holster, breath steady, body ready. But instead of bullets, a slip of white paper fluttered from the window and landed on the curb. The SUV peeled away, engine roaring, disappearing down the street before Alicia could catch a plate. She darted forward and grabbed the note. 3 words were scrawled in thick marker. "Stay out, Carter." Alicia felt a cold rush through her. They weren't just aware of her investigation, they were shadowing her movements, anticipating her every step. She texted Jordan at FBI. "Briggs gone. Someone grabbed him or pushed him out. Getting tailed." A reply popped instantly. "You need backup." Alicia stared at the message. Backup meant bringing others into danger. Backup meant trusting people when trust was suddenly expensive. She pocketed the threat note and climbed back into her SUV. If Adler had mobilized outside help, she was up against more than police corruption. She was up against an organized force. And she refused to blink. Alicia drove straight to the one place she knew she could work without prying eyes, an abandoned warehouse the FBI seized years prior but never repurposed. It sat on the edge of town, quiet, empty, forgotten by nearly everyone. Perfect cover. Inside, dust motes floated through beams of light from broken windows, and echoes of her footsteps trailed behind her as she set up a temporary workstation, laptop, encrypted hotspot, whiteboard. She pinned 3 names first. Briggs, Adler, unknown handler. Then she drew a circle around all 3 and wrote one word beneath. Why? She wasn't just a random target. Something she had done. Some case she had cracked open, had rattled the wrong nest. She began flipping through her old case archives, searching for the most likely trigger. Her screen blinked through investigations like a file cabinet in fast motion: opioid trafficking ring, councilman bribery, stolen tech arms. But one stood out like a bruise. Operation Deep Lantern. She clicked it. Deep Lantern was a still active federal probe involving missing public funds, police interference, and, Alicia froze, early mentions of Maplewood's Chief Adler on a shortlist of suspected facilitators. Suddenly, everything made sense. She wasn't targeted because she existed. She was targeted because she was getting too close, maybe without realizing it. Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft crunch outside. Alicia snapped her laptop shut and moved to the window silently. A shadow crept near her SUV, too slow to be a passerby, too deliberate to be lost. She pulled her gun, thumb switching instinctively to safety off, and slid behind a support column for cover. The warehouse door creaked open. A silhouette stepped inside, tall, lean, cautious, gun drawn already. Alicia's heartbeat slowed, her breathing calm as stone. FBI, identify yourself, she snapped. The figure froze, and raised both hands. It's me, a voice hissed. Jordan. Alicia stepped out, lowering her gun but not relaxing entirely. Jordan exhaled shakily. You drive like you're being chased, he muttered, eyes darting around. I am, Alicia replied. What are you doing here? Jordan held out a folder. I bypassed the blocks on Briggs' file. You were right. Adler's not the top of the chain. Alicia's pulse hammered. Who is? Jordan opened the folder. Inside was a request form. One signature authorizing Briggs' transfer, sealed paperwork rerouting internal affairs reports, and a name she recognized instantly. State Attorney Arnold Vance. A political heavyweight. Powerful. Untouchable. Jordan met her stare. Briggs is a pawn. Adler's a foot soldier. Vance is the one building the rotten foundation. Alicia felt adrenaline and fury ignite. If Vance was calling shots, the conspiracy was statewide, and deeply protected. Meaning she was now standing against power that reached courts, police, and government offices. And she had just made herself target number one. Jordan slid the warehouse door shut and shoved a rusted metal bar across it, sealing them inside. The tension in the air felt thick enough to grip. Alicia paced, mind racing faster than her feet. Vance, she muttered. The state attorney. He oversees half the corruption cases in this region. Jordan nodded grimly, which means he sees exactly what's being investigated, and what needs to be buried. This was bigger than they feared. Briggs wasn't just a rogue cop abusing authority. He was a tool, placed, protected, and activated when needed. Alicia stared at the folder again. Adler worked under him. Briggs was brought in by Adler. Everything traces back upward, and if Vance is the conductor, Jordan added, then he's probably funneling money, cases, or protection across multiple agencies. Alicia stopped pacing. He's trying to silence Deep Lantern. Jordan swallowed. And you're the agent closest to tying him to stolen funds. A chill crawled through her spine. Not fear, but clarity. Someone inside government was using police departments as shields, moving corrupt players like chess pieces, and anyone who got close became expendable. We need proof, Alicia said. Something undeniable, something public. Jordan's face contorted. We won't get that by snooping quietly. Vance controls sealed filings, grand juries, and backchannels. He'll bury anything we submit. Alicia nodded once, which means we don't go through him. Jordan stared. Then he understood. We go federal, outside the state. Alicia grabbed her encrypted laptop and began a transfer, pulling data into off-site FBI servers beyond Vance's reach. Jordan scanned the room nervously while code streamed across the screen. Suddenly, headlights flashed through the dusty glass high above. Alicia and Jordan froze. The engine outside idled. Too close, too still. Jordan whispered, "Did you tell anyone you were here?" "No," Alicia answered. "Me neither." Boots crunched gravel. More than one set. Alicia killed the laptop screen and motioned to Jordan. Silence. They crouched behind a stack of crates as the warehouse door creaked. Someone tugged. The metal bar held. For now. Then a blow landed. Hard steel slamming against the barrier. Jordan's eyes widened. They tracked us. A second slam. The rusty hinges shrieked. Alicia's mind raced. There were no exits except the one being battered. We need time, she whispered. For what? Jordan breathed. For the upload. The third hit bent the latch. We're not armed for a firefight, he added, panic rising. Alicia steadied her voice. Doesn't matter. Our objective isn't to win the fight. She scanned the rafters, and found her answer. It's to survive long enough to finish the job. Outside, someone shouted, on my mark, breach. Alicia gripped her weapon, eyes sharp. The war had officially arrived at her door. The warehouse door exploded inward with a violent crack, metal clanging as it slammed against the wall. Dust burst into the air. Alicia shoved Jordan behind a stack of crates just as three armed men poured inside, faces masked, movements tactical, no badges visible. These weren't cops. These were mercenaries. Check the back. One barked. Boots scattered across concrete. Jordan whispered hoarsely, they're not law enforcement. Alicia nodded grimly, which means Vance is done pretending. Gun raised, she peeked from behind cover. The intruders moved like professionals, spread formation, covering angles, searching with precision. But they didn't know the layout like she did. Alicia scanned quickly. The upload timer flashed on her laptop screen nearby, 63%. They just needed minutes. Minutes they didn't have. The first mercenary approached their position. Alicia waited. 3, 2, 1, then lunged. She drove her shoulder into his torso, knocking him off balance. His weapon hit the floor with a clatter. Before he could recover, she slammed a fist into his jaw. He dropped. Gunfire erupted, bullets tearing crates apart inches from her. Alicia dove back, grabbing the fallen weapon and sliding behind cover. Jordan shielded the laptop with his body, trembling but steady enough to tap a rapid message through an encrypted channel. Agent Carter compromised. Request emergency extraction. Alicia fired 2 controlled shots toward the advancing men, not to hit, but to push them back. They ducked behind pillars. One yelled, we don't need the analyst. Just her. Jordan's face blanched. Alicia's jaw tightened. They were here to take her, dead or alive. Upload, she hissed. 70%. Another wave of bullets tore through the air. Sparks showered from metal beams. Alicia's ribs tightened, adrenaline burning like fire. She shifted, counted footsteps, and returned fire. One mercenary dropped, screaming as a shot hit his leg. The others answered with fury. Alicia felt the wall behind her shudder. She ducked and rolled, dragging Jordan with her as the crates splintered into wood and dust. 83%. He gasped. Almost there. A sudden silence fell. Too fast, too deliberate. Alicia held her breath. Then she saw it. A grenade rolling across the floor. Down, she yelled. They dove behind a steel loading ramp just as the blast rocked the warehouse, shrapnel tearing through wood, glass shattering everywhere. The laptop skidded across the floor but stayed intact. Jordan scrambled to it, coughing. 95, 96. Alicia, ears ringing, spotted the final mercenary sprinting toward Jordan. He lunged. She fired. One clean shot. He fell. Upload complete. Jordan shouted. Alicia grabbed him and the laptop. No time to celebrate. Sirens wailed in the distance. Not police, but FBI tactical units responding to Jordan's. Ping. Alicia pushed open a side fire hatch she'd scoped earlier. They sprinted into the rising sun, alive, bruised, and carrying evidence powerful enough to topple a king. Cold morning air hit Alicia like a slap as she and Jordan burst from the warehouse and sprinted behind a line of shipping containers. The sirens grew louder, closer, but the danger wasn't over. Whoever sent mercenaries wasn't giving up because one assault failed. Jordan clutched the laptop to his chest like it was oxygen. We need to get to headquarters, he gasped. Alicia shook her head. Vance will already be trying to intercept anything official. Field office isn't safe. Jordan swallowed hard. Then where? A secure spot outside state jurisdiction, she answered. We take this federal, just like we said. Alicia scanned the street. The tactical convoy screeched to a stop near the warehouse. Men in FBI gear fanned out, moving cautiously. They were too late to fully help, but right on time to confuse enemy teams. Alicia flagged down the closest agent, one she recognized, Agent Brixton, solid and trustworthy. She flashed her badge and grabbed his shoulder. We were ambushed. Brixton blinked. By who? PD. No uniforms. Hired guns, Alicia said. Briggs and Adler are pawns. Someone higher is calling shots. Brixton grimaced. Let me brief command. No time. Alicia cut in sharply. I need transport. Quiet. Clean. No radios. The agent hesitated. Protocol ward with instinct, then nodded. There's an unmarked Charger 3 blocks down. Keys in visor. Take it. Jordan stared. Are we stealing our own car? Borrowing. Alicia corrected. Policy flexible borrowing. They took off on foot again, weaving between rusted fences and discarded pallets until they reached the sedan. Alicia glanced over her shoulder. No pursuit yet. Jordan jumped in and logged into a secure network. We need to copy the upload redundantly, he muttered. Make it so even if Vance nukes the servers, the files survive. Alicia pulled away from the curb, tires squealing. You focus on that. I'll get us past the state line. Traffic thickened as they approached downtown. Normal people were waking to a normal day, unaware a conspiracy was unraveling in plain sight. Jordan's fingers flew across keys. I'm rerouting the data to 3 independent FBI cyber vaults. Good. Make it messy. Make it public if we crash. Jordan nodded grimly. If they stop us now, their whole operation burns. Alicia gripped the wheel, jaw tight. That's exactly why they'll try. Her phone buzzed. A number she didn't know. She rejected it. Then it buzzed again. Same number. She answered on speaker. A deep, unhurried voice slid through the car. Agent Carter, you're in over your head. Alicia's eyes narrowed. Vance. He chuckled softly. You've made a very expensive mistake. Alicia smirked without humor. Funny. I was about to say the same thing. Vance's tone chilled. This ends now. The line cut. Jordan swallowed. He knows we're running. Alicia pressed the accelerator hard. Then let's make him chase. The highway opened ahead like a long steel ribbon, stretching toward the state border. Alicia's foot pressed harder on the accelerator, the sedan roaring forward. Wind howled through a cracked window, road signs blurring past. Behind them, the skyline shrank into morning haze. Jordan worked furiously on the laptop. 2 vaults synced. Third is fighting me, Vance? Alicia asked. Jordan nodded. He's trying to cut access at the state gateway. He's got someone inside IT. Of course he did. A man who planted corrupt officers, funded mercenaries, and buried investigations wouldn't stop at one department. He'd built himself a network. Police, lawyers, tech specialists, judges, anyone who could. Make sure justice never touched him. Alicia gripped the wheel harder. How long before the third uploads? Jordan swallowed. 2 minutes. Maybe. Alicia exhaled slowly. 2 minutes. She needed to buy them 2 minutes. A flash of black in the rearview mirror froze her blood. Another SUV, sleek, tinted, and moving fast. They found us, she said flatly. Jordan twisted in his seat. Oh man, that's not PD. No, Alicia muttered. That's private muscle. The SUV closed the distance, tires screeching as it swerved into their lane. Alicia jerked the wheel, avoiding impact by inches. The sedan fishtail-ed, tires screaming before gripping again. 30% left, Jordan shouted. The SUV rammed their bumper. Alicia slammed brakes for a heartbeat, causing their pursuer to overshoot, then swerved into the next lane. Seatbelt tight, she barked, hanging on. The SUV recovered instantly. Whoever was driving wasn't guessing, they were trained. Another swerve, another impact. Harder this time. The sedan lurched, warning lights blinking. Alicia scanned the horizon. A turn off. Narrow, rough road cutting into forest. Not ideal, but better than open highway. She yanked the wheel, and the sedan shot off the exit, gravel spitting as rubber hammered uneven asphalt. The SUV followed, engine snarling. Jordan gritted his teeth. Upload at 90. Hold on. Alicia barreled down the road until it ended at a construction barrier. Dead end. No, 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 Jordan gasped. Alicia braked hard, spun the wheel, and the car slid sideways, dust billowing. The SUV screeched to a stop across the exit, cutting off escape. Men poured out, armed, coordinated. Alicia drew her weapon. Jordan slammed the laptop shut. Upload complete. Relief surged through her like lightning. Good, she whispered. Then even if we drop here, the truth rises. The men fanned out, tightening a semicircle around their car. No badges, no hesitation, no bluff. One spoke, voice cold. Agent Carter. Step out. Hands where we can see them. Alicia exchanged one glance with Jordan, fearless, resigned, unbroken. She kicked open her door. Not today. Alicia stepped out slowly, hands raised just enough to prevent a trigger-happy mercenary from firing. Gravel crunched beneath her boots. Jordan crouched low inside the car, clutching the laptop like a lifeline. The morning sun crawled over the treetops, bright and unforgiving, illuminating every threat, every gun pointed her way. The lead mercenary smirked behind mirrored sunglasses. Bad day for you, Agent. Alicia's voice came calm and razor-sharp. You're late. You already lost. He tilted his head. Funny. I don't see backup. Alicia gave a slow smile. Look harder. A faint chop-chop sound rose in the distance, barely audible at first. The mercenary frowned, scanning the sky. The sound grew louder, rhythmic, unmistakable. Helicopter rotors. The men massed in front of her stiffened. Jordan peeked over the door. You called air support, he whispered. Alicia shook her head. You did. When Jordan sent the emergency ping, the FBI tagged it immediately, and escalated once the upload hit 3 secure servers at once. Alicia wasn't just protected now. She was priority. The helicopter crested the tree line, FBI insignia gleaming in full morning sun. A tactical rope deployed, and agents rappelled down fast, armored, prepared, authorized. The mercenaries panicked. Fall back. The leader shouted. Too late. FBI agents stormed forward, leveraging cover, shouting commands. The clearing exploded into chaos, gunshots cracking, boots pounding, metal clanging. Alicia rolled behind the sedan and drew her weapon, covering Jordan as he scrambled out. An agent called out, Carter. You good. Better now, she shouted back. A mercenary rushed her, flank. Alicia pivoted, struck him square in the throat, and he hit the dirt. Another charged from behind the SUV, only to drop as a darting FBI agent disarmed and cuffed him. The leader sprinted toward his vehicle, desperate escape in his eyes. Alicia took aim, steady and sure. Stop, she barked. He ignored her. One clean shot to his tire spun the SUV sideways, slamming him against the frame. He fell, groaning, pinned. Within seconds, the clearing was secured. Agents detained the remaining mercenaries, weapons clattered harmlessly to the gravel. Helicopter winds whipped debris across the scene as the adrenaline slowly ebbed from Alicia's chest. Brixton jogged over, panting. Upload verified. 3 separate federal divisions already opening subpoenas. Vance is done. Alicia let out a breath she'd been holding for days. Jordan grinned through scratches and dust. So this is what cracking statewide corruption looks like. Alicia nodded, eyes fierce but grateful. This is what happens when power finally gets checked. Hours later, headlines blasted everywhere. State attorney arrested in massive corruption scandal. FBI agent targeted in assassination attempt. Chief Adler surrendered. Briggs confessed. And the dominoes kept falling. As the sun set, Alicia stood outside Maplewood PD, badge gleaming, victory earned. Justice had arrived, and this time, it stayed.